morning, ladies. So today's card is this one. If I turn it round and get up close so you can see all the elements I've done. I had this idea from Pinterest and I've just adapted my way of doing it to it, so hope you like. It's quite lengthy, but we'll get through it slowly and gently, and I'll go through what you're going to need first. So first of all, you're going to need your heat gun because we're going to heat emboss, and then you're going to need, I've used singles designed by Sam Poole, and I'm using Have a Lovely Day. And then I'm going to be using Julie Hickey Sunflower Bee stamp, which I just adore. I think it's beautiful. And Hobby Art, I'm using this one because it's got a little bee on it that's on the side so I can prop it on my flower. And that's Hobby Art. Don't know whether that's got a name on it. Bee Friendly. And then your card base and envelope, as usual. And you know the rule, when you've got to fold it, it's bump inside. Let's give that a good squash. And then you've got a black piece that will go on first. And then you've got your white piece you're going to be stamping. And then you've got a spare piece for stamping your bee and your flower, so we can decoupage up. Now this is 5 3/4 by 7 3/4, and this is 5 1/2 by 7 1/2. That's your measurements. I should really start doing centimetres, shouldn't I? Not everybody knows inches. I forget. I'm old school. Just checking them that they're okay. Yeah, that's brilliant. So we'll use this one first. Let's put these aside. And to save time, I've already stamped my flower and bee. Just to save time. I'm going to be showing you the stamping on the front, so this is going to be fine. And then for our opponents, we're going, opponents. That's not the right word at all, Trisha. Let's say this. Our inks and accessories we'll need. VersaFine Onyx Black, Distress Oxide Fossilized Amber, and then Distress Inks Mustard Seed. And I've used Art Ingredients Finnabar Micro Bead Pollen, and it does actually look like pollen. And then I've got some little black Hobby and Crafting Fun little tiny black beads as well that I'm using. Glossy Accents, Clear Gloss Regular Wow Embossing Powder, Collal Glue. This one is for matting and layering. And then I like this design Art Glitter Designer Dries Clear Tacky Glue. I really like that one, and I love the thin nib. It's so essential for me. Scissors you will need, you know, normal tool kits that you carry with you, and paint brushes, a couple I've got there, and then a little tub of water. So I think that's everything you're going to need. So we'll make a start and we'll get our stamping platform out. Let's get a bit of card first. Now most people have got stamping platforms. They have become very necessities. Can't do without. I'm an old stamper, so I don't mind using a block, but for this I want to make sure I get it right. So I'm just going to put that in the middle and slightly to the left of your card. I'm just going to press that down to stick it. And now I'm going to ink it up. And I'm going to clear emboss this with my Onyx black ink. Now you can use black embossing powder, but I find the black makes a real mess. Or I make a real mess with black embossing powder. So I'm just going over my card with my embossing pad, and then I'm going to just re-ink that up a little bit, and then off we go. So give it a good press down and stand, so you get a good pressure on it and you won't have to do it 2 or 3 times. She says these are the most famous words in crafting. There you go, all done nice. I'm just going to pop that on there. It protects my sponge. So that's that. Let's get this embossing powder on. When you use embossing powder, don't be frightened to put it on, because the weight of the powder will stick better. You'll get a much better coverage of embossing powder. You saw how much I put on. I'm going to put that over there now because it'll be a bit gritty. Let's just do that up. Now I've done that. What I would have done is stamped up the other flower and the bee and done that all at the same time. But I've done that to save time already. Put that in while we're waiting for this to... Make sure your heated gun is always hot when you start, because it will go quicker. I don't know whether you can see this turning. I hope you can. And then one below. When you're using your heat gun, you don't want to be doing this. You're wasting your energy and the energy of your heat gun. So you hold it over. When it turns, you move it on. When it turns, you move it on. And that's how you do. And then just go around for the last double check. So we've done that. And you would have done that. So that's good. So now we'll do our... That still feels gritty under there. So now we'll do our background to this. Let's turn it around the right way. And we're going to use oxides, because oxides stamp really well. You can use them... Where's my stamps gone? Here's... So on the Julia Hickey, I'm using the Silhouette honeycomb, and I'm using oxides. Oxide stamp beautifully. And first of all, I'm gonna, let me see, get this over. I'm just gonna rub over the stamp first, and that gets the ink on it, and then I'm going to do some tapping, light tapping. And I'm going to do one of these down in this corner. it's not stamped there very well. Never mind, we'll colour that in. And again, slowly over it, rub it and give it lots of little taps. And you know, ladies, stamping, I use this part of my hand, either side, to position it where I want it. So I get it round and I can move it quite nicely without it touching the paper. Press it down where you want it. Don't let the pressure up. Hold it with one hand all the time. And again, never letting the pressure up. I find if you let the pressure up, it there you go. And because I'm not happy with that, I will just do this, a little bit of ink there, and just colour that in, make it a bit darker. Just get that bit of water on it. I could spread it then. And just again down there, that little bit there, and that little bit there. There we go. So that's that bit. And then we're going to get the open honeycomb from the Hobby Art stamp set. It's great when you can mix and match your stamps and use several sets in once. It's lovely. So now again, rub over. I'm going to do this in a little twisting motion just to make sure I get enough ink on them stamps. And these I'm going to put, it's a slight round to this stamp, so I'm going to put this like round the flower like that. And lift it up, turn it round. And again, lots of light taps. Just wipe that off. And again, I'm going to sort of, in the corner there, press it down. Don't take any pressure off. Move the other hand and do that. I'll just leave it a little bit longer to soak in the ink. There we go, lovely. So that's that one. Let's clean that off. And we'll put that one back. Keep as tidy as we can. She says. She's not a very tidy lady. So now what I'm going to do is, let me just move this camera up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm putting some ink down. You want plenty for this. Oxides I'm using for this. And then you want to put plenty of water. And I'm using a thicker brush for this because you want lots of water. Because what you're going to do is do some flicks. And then we're going to, I use another brush to tap. Lovely. There we go, and all over, splash of colour. Just move that over there. That's it out the way. I'll just bring that back down a little bit so we're back on this one. While we've got this water here, I'm using kitchen roll to just take off the excess water because we don't need that because we've got all this here. And I'm just going to go over and paint my flowers. And because I've got embossing on it, I can just paint over and not worry too much. Only the outside edges have I got to worry about. And I'm going over all of them, but when I've gone over all of it, I'm going to go over these ones again, because I want to make them nice and bright in colour. So the colouring don't take long. So that's that. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of ink, not straight on top of that water, up to the side, because I don't want water on my ink pad. So never put it on top of the water. As you can see, I'm just darkening them outer ones, so that, because I want, when I do the top one, you'll see in a minute, I'm going to try and get it quite deep in colour to match these. I haven't had to go into the water since. I've just been picking up the ink with what I've got left on the brush. I'm just going to go back into that one because I can see I've got a little white patch there. Lovely. That's that bit done. I think we'll do a little bit, do the other flower now while the blobs are drying. And the bee, mustn't forget the bee. I'm just going to clear this ink up now and dry my table off. Get my oxides again. Do you know what? I use Distress ink to colour my flower, but that's actually covered nice, so I'm going to stick with that. This, and I'm just dabbing off. And all this time you're only going to colour in the top layer of flowers. And I'm just taking a little bit of ink each time I'm doing a flower. Quite surprised that I've not used oxides to colour before. I'm quite pleased with it. So I'm still just doing the top layer of petals. Doesn't matter if you go over the line onto the next one because you're going to be cutting this out. I do so enjoy colouring. It's very therapeutic. So now my brush is getting a bit dry. So I'm just going to take some of that off. And again, go in. There you go. You see how much nicer it moves the ink. And there we go. I hope everybody's keeping well and being safe with this awful virus we've got going around the country. And I wonder how busy the beaches are today. Little bit of sunshine we've got. It keeps going in and out. Bit more water because it's going dry. Take the excess off. Your brush certainly tells you when you need to re-water. Lovely. Just make sure they're all nice. And now I'm going to do my bumblebee. A little bit there. And a little bit there. And we'll do a little bit there as well. That's it. Lovely. So I'm going to keep that ink there because I'm going to need it again in a bit. So now we'll cut this. No, we'll leave that to dry. And then we'll do our extra stamping. So I did use, is that dry-ish? Let's give it a dry. Just going to give that a little tap, just to make sure it is dry. Actually, most of them were dry, so that's good. Now I'm going to do the words next. Let's take that one off and put it on there. Now I did use another ink for that because I wanted it a bit bolder, so I'll just get my VersaFine Clair out. And this one is Golden Meadow, so it's the same colour. Where's my word stamp's gone? There it is. That's the wrong one. It's on the B something. And this one says, the hum of the bees is the voice of the garden. Which is really quite a lovely sentiment. Now I'm putting this straight on the line on my block. That helps me to keep the line of that straight. Lots of light taps. Don't push it down. You only want the ink on the top of the stamp. Make sure you've got it round the right way. Again, I'm going to stamp because then I can see better. And I'm going to pop that down there. And again, don't take the pressure off. Push all around the stamp. And then we'll take that off. Lovely. Just give that a wipe. And then a little clean with my stamp cleaner. Pop that there. And then have a lovely day. And this one we're going to do in black to go along with the black ink of the flowers to tie it all together. Make sure I get this round the right way. That's it. Gosh, that was difficult. I'm going to put that down there, right up to there this time. There, have a lovely day. Let's get my stamp cleaner on that as well. I know that's... Oh. And now we need our bees. Just get my bee there. And I'm just going to put a couple of these on. Just to... I'm going to put one there. When you're doing these, you'll feel where you want it to go. you'll know. You're more than welcome to copy what I have, but feel where you want it to go yourself. There, that's the bees done. And I'm just going to heat dry that ink on them bees. So I just want to go in with my paint again, my oxide ink on the side that I've kept here. Sorry, you can't see that, can you? There you go. There. So that I can colour in my bees. And I've dried the ink so it doesn't blob my colour. What I'm putting on, must do his little bum. And across around his neck. That's that. I think that's nice. I'm happy with that. We'll clear this off. And then we'll cut out our flower. Go through that with you as well. I like, when I'm cutting, I like to cut, I'm just going to put my bee down there. I like to cut the excess off first. And because I'm doing a shape like this, I like my big scissors. I think the big scissors work really well. And I use the whole of my blade as much as I can. So I always start at the bottom. And I'm going round my petal. And if you start at the bottom, you get a really good round shape. And then I'm going on to the next petal that side. And the next one. And I'm going to go all the way round this side first. And there we go. Using the back of my, and I do a straight cut until I can't go. You can feel when you need to change. I'm not doing this. I'm just using the whole blade as much as I need. I feel you have more control over your scissors when you use the base of your blade. So we've gone all round that way. So now I can just go down this side, round them, come to the bottom, bring that back and cut that off like that. So again, round there to the bottom, turn it over, bring that cut off bit back, making sure it's right down, cut it off. And you can see that I'm doing, let me just move this up a little bit. Is that better? That's better. I'll do this. And again, using the base of the scissors gives you far more control. And he's just taking in a little bit more. That's better. And cut that off. And around we go this side. Down to the base. Pull that bit back. And cut it off. I'm going to have my juice over in a minute, I can feel it. Cut round the base. And pull it back. And cut that bit off. There we go. Nearly there. I couldn't do this beforehand because it just seemed to be wrong because I wanted to do the scissor work with you as well, which I know I've done now. Two more to go, ladies. So again, using the base of my scissors. Last one. Base of my scissors going round, and you move the card, not the scissors. Bring that back and cut that off. So we've done that now. Now all we've got to do is this bee. My friend will be so proud of me cutting this bee out. I don't usually do things as fiddly as this. I usually make it so I can cut the fiddly bits off, but I just love this bee so much. I can't cut him off. Still using the base of my scissors. So even for small little fiddly things, you don't need to go down to smaller scissors. If you use the base of your big scissors, and as I say, you move the card, not the scissors, it will be fine. Oh, this is fiddly. I'm being so good. Last bit round his wing, and again moving my scissors, my card, not my scissors. So we've done all that now. Let's clear that off of there. And now I'm going to get a black marker pen, and I want to go around the edges. So I do my little bee first, so you can see. Just using the chisel end. Don't be frightened to bend, because it will go back. You can get in the little nooks and crannies as well then. I'm going to bend his leg up. Just colour that. Don't forget the tips of his feet. Come back. And again this one. Bend that back so you can get in there. The tips, don't forget the tips. And there's your bee done. And the same with these. Bend it forward so you can get in there. Put that back. And again, I'm going around one side. Being very careful not to always have the front facing away from the pen. It doesn't matter if you get it on the back, you're not going to see that. Right, now I'll go around the other side now and finish that off. Right. There we go. Done. Done. Just a couple more to do now. I Is it all done now? Yep. That's better. Gives you an edge to the finished. There's our flower and there's our bee. Put them together. Now I think we'll stick this to start assembling our card. Here, so we'll get the black bit first. And this, because I've done some work on it, heat embossing and wet paint ink, I'm just going to give it a roll. You can just see me rolling it there. Just to straighten it up a little bit before sticking back down. Get my collal out. And remember not to close it in between use. I'm using it like I did last time. Oh, I hope you're all enjoying these videos, and I'm not rabbiting too much, and I hope I'm informative enough. You can leave me a comment if there's something you'd like to say. Subscribe to me and it will let you know when my next one's on. And I thoroughly enjoy doing this. I feel like I'm achieving something and helping my ladies in my craft club when they're not coming to club in this lockdown. And I get my inky blinky just to push that down around the edges, make sure the corners stick. That's it, and a little bit in the middle. That's it. Lovely. Not just for my ladies, mind. I'm hoping there's other people watching and enjoying them. Don't profess to be a professional by any means. I just enjoy what I do. So now we're going to stick our, and again, out your tool box, get your bone folder, hold the base of your petal. I think my thumb is going there, and then I'm pulling away from me, but I'm holding the base of the petal because if I don't, I'll pull it off, because I do use a lot of strength when I'm pulling, because I like to get a nice bend on them. And then I'm going to just go round and just bend them up a little bit there so that I can do this. Now I'm going to go back to my tacky, or use my tacky, and I'm going to go just all the way around that edge as well as in the middle. I'm not just doing the middle bit. And I want to try and get these in the right, at the right. Oh my gosh, I think I've done it first time. Wowee. That's it. Just make sure that's all stuck down. Lovely. And now I'm just going to get a box lid. Just to tip my balls in, because they go everywhere. So if you see my card, bring it up close. I've done the middle bit black balls, and then the edge, the pollen colour. Just makes it look a little bit more realistic, I think. So in with my tacky glue and a nice little circle. It doesn't have to be a proper circle, because nature isn't. And I've got my things, and I'm just going to hold it over my box. So, oh, it's not going in my box. Never mind. Just tap it into the glue. Bit of tap. Give it just a few more on there. I'm just going to do that by hand. No, it's got to be tipped on. I should be slipping and sliding all over the floor. And I've done that. Get that all into the corner. Tip that back into there. Find my lid. So if I don't put the lid on, I'm bound to get it everywhere. So I'm just going to leave that to dry a little bit. While I'm doing that, I'm going to get my bee ready. And I need a fine black pen now, because I want to just colour in that bit there. And that bit there. And his head. That's better. And to stick him on, I'm going to use a little bit of a pad. You only need a little tiny bit. Just take that little bit off. Pop that on there. And then I'm going to pop, oh, got a couple of black beads stuck to me there. And I'm just going to pop him there. Sticking on my tacky glue. And now we're going to fill in all the way around here. And I use the tacky glue rather than a glue pen because we're using little tiny balls. And the tacky you can build up as much as you want. Try and get into the where you've gone with the black balls as well. Push them back in. Take that off of there. Don't be frightened to put your glue on. Just gonna move my black ones around a little bit. Just make sure the shape is going. There, get the lid. I'm just going to sprinkle these quite gently, but put plenty on, say, because the weight will stick it into the glue, and I'm just tapping round just to get that in the glue. And I'm going to tap the excess off. There you go. Doesn't look as orange now as mine does, but it will go once it's dry. You'll be able to see that it does. It's a bit darker because you've got the glue showing the white. So I will just tip that back into my pollen. I'll take out that little black one first. Pop the lid on them. Always frightened of them in case they go. Frighten the life out of you. Let's pop my pin in. Look, ladies, I haven't had to look for it. I must be getting there somewhere. So there's our finished card, and I'm happy with that. I hope you're happy. I hope you enjoy making it alongside me. Don't have to use a sunflower or a bee. Just use the basic elements of the card, the way it's spaced and done. You don't have to have all the right stamps, just any sunflower stamp. Oh, that's a little black bead falling out of there. Couple in there, never mind. Okay, my lovelies, I'll love and leave you. Have a lovely time till the next time I see you. Lots of love. Bye.